Dr. S.M. Jagdish, sir. Jagdish, Principal Consultant, ZD Consultant, Bangalore. Welcome, sir. Now I request Dr. Naveen Desai, Head of the Department, to introduce S.M. Jagdish, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. My
Yeah.
voice is
Good
audible?
afternoon.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, you are
yeah.
audible.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
It gives a immense pleasure to introduce Dr. S.M. Jagdish for today's resource person. Dr. Jagdish is a mechanical engineer, MBA in marketing, and doctoral in TQM. Worked in a small scale industries, medium scale industries, NTTF Industries Limited, and multinational companies such as Career Refrigeration Private Limited, and is in consulting field from 1999. He is the author of the upcoming book Manufacturing Millions: How Entrepreneurs and Leaders Can Adopt a Simple and Sustainable Systems, develop a human resources for growth enhancement and achieving a planned revenue and profits. He has helped more than 200 organizations in increase their performance and achieve a growth by establishing processes, consulting and through experiential training by busting the myth that manufacturing is no longer profitable and helping the leaders to see the mistake which have made their mind believe making a money is difficult. He especially is helping leaders to achieve business goals, engage teams by organizing and systemizing the organization, which can ensure that the organization is scaling up and maximizing performance and profits. Based on his contribution to the pilot lot of Indian government project, Lean Manufacturing Competitive Schemes, he was recognized as a best performing consultant from Ministry of Microscale and Medium Enterprises and National Productivity Council, New Delhi. He has also honored with a Bharata Jyoti Award and Bharata Ratna Atal Bihari Vajpayee Excellency Award. While most experts believe in sharing their expertise and saying that customer needs to take action and achieving success is their business, but his belief is in achieving a customer success is his business. So with this brief introduction, I welcome you, sir, for this session.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Naveen Desai. Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction. And I would like to thank you, the management of BLD, for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts on a very important topic for the day, that is stress management. I would like to share my PPT for benefit of all. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So welcome all of you to this webinar on stress management. Hope second slide is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Visible.
to just get started on this webinar, so that see, I would like to really add value because the time is short. In this, how do I add value? That's where directly I'll go to the topic rather than discussing too many things on many general things. If you look at generally in a stress, there are positive stress as well as negative stress on which we are all influenced in a day-to-day life. Now, what is called positive stress and what is called negative stress? That may be a kind of surprise for each one of us. But the trick here is, yes, if we can maximize the positive stress and minimize the negative stress, then still, we can perform the best to our fullest potential. How we can do that? If you look at, even there is a important what I can tell proverb written by Tom, where he talks about when a stress is at its highest, just know it can only go down. Okay, so with this just to be intro, I would like to really set up an objective of this webinar, but then it is objective looks to be too big. but I'll try to see to that I add value and cover most of it, so that at the end of the day, there'll be a takeaway which you can use these tools and techniques what we discuss here, and then you deploy it in your day-to-day life. Now, webinar objective 1 is identify the best approach to a stressful situation. Normally, we tell 3 A's. What is that? Is alter, avoid, and accept. Then, if you look at understand what lifestyle elements you can change to reduce the stress, use a routine to reduce the stress, day-to-day activities. What is that we can do to reduce the stress? Then use environmental and physical relaxation techniques, for reduction of our stress levels and better cope up with the major events and daily routine events. What we can do, and then use a stress log. This is a process what I'm going to now tell you, how we can use this stress log, create a plan of action to reduce or eliminate them depending on how harmful you feel it is on you. So this is what the objectives what I've set for. Hope it suits to your expectation from this webinar. Now, what I suggest is we'll have a pre-webinar review. I request one of the faculties to volunteer and then probably answer my queries for few, so that we'll set a base based on this, and all of us I will have a complete clarity on what is that we are going to discuss. Okay. Now, one of the faculty, you can name yourself and then unmute yourself, and then you can participate with me. You can identify yourself, please. Hello.
Sir, I'm Praveen brother, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Praveen. Thank you for volunteering. And now, please let me know on a 1 to 10 scale, if you think you have a stress, what is your current stress level?
Means 1 means lowest, 10 means
1
highest,
is
sir.
lowest and 10 is highest. 5 is moderate.
Okay, sir. Around 6 or 7, sir.
6 or 7, excellent. Okay. Now, where would you like your stress levels to be actually? See, now it is around 6 or 7. Where
Yes,
do you
sir.
expect it should be?
So it should be around 3 to 4.
Okay, it should be 3 to 4. Very
Yes,
good,
sir.
Praveen. Thank
Yes,
you for sharing that. Now,
yes.
what are the major stresses in your life? You can share few.
Sir, unplanned activities, sir.
Very good. Very well. Unplanned activities always leads to stresses. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then,
Nothing, sir. That is a major stress level, because what will happen? We are planning something. Some assignment is thrown to us with short time. That lead to more stress actually.
more stress. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Excellent. Then any other thing like unplanned, unplanned things is one of the major contributors. What are the
Yes,
other
sir.
contributors? Any one or two you can identify?
Other means
Yeah, for
sometimes.
example, lack of
Yes,
infrastructure for teaching could be one something like that, or there is a lack of facilities, like for example, welfare like drinking water, or whatever. There are each of the institutions have different kind of challenges. So you as a faculty, one is unplanned activity. Clearly you identified that.
yes,
Then
sir.
anything else?
Anything else means, sir, whenever we are conducting class, some disturbance is happening, or something which you are not expecting in the class, or we forget something during the class, that will lead to some stress level.
Oh, excellent. So maybe diversion, mental, now because of the mental diversions,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
disturbances, which is created in internal or it could be from external, that will lead to stress. Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Praveen, thank you for sharing.
Thank you,
Now,
sir. Yes, sir.
looking at the next one, look at the next question. What do you see as a major challenge to resolving your stress? If this stress has to be removed now, what do you think is a major challenge? Why we cannot
Uh,
remove unplanned activity? Why we cannot remove disturbances?
because unplanned activities it is beyond our imagination, sir, actually speaking. Because
Okay.
suddenly it will strike.
Okay.
Oh, that we cannot avoid, because what will happen, say some from university also some notice comes. They will
Mm.
send today afternoon 11 o'clock. From 11 o'clock they will send to department at 4 o'clock. They tell that
Okay.
today is the last date.
Okay. Right.
Uh,
Okay.
that suddenly we cannot manage that time also, or if you want to take some feedback or some data from the student, again the stress level will go to up to 8 or 9.
Mm. Yeah.
That is unplanned stress level. That is a major what we face generally in teaching life.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Yes.
the routine whatever comes, no, there is no stress at all because we are enjoying teaching.
Yes. Excellent, Praveen brother. Thank you for sharing, and I think you are very, very transparent and open. I should
Yes.
appreciate you for that. Okay, thank you for sharing. Yeah, next,
Thank you.
what are you currently doing to manage and reduce stress?
Sir,
What are you trying to do? Okay. How
I
this
try to calm myself and I try to discuss with seniors how can we solve this problem and other things. If I get the solution, my stress level suddenly it will go down, sir. And
okay.
second thing, if it is not manageable, I just forget for a minute and I will listen to my music and other things so that it will give some stress will be relieved.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much for sharing, Praveen.
Thank
Excellent. So now, thanks. Now we'll continue with the presentation.
you. Yes,
Now,
sir.
with this small, review,
Yes, sir.
probably you got a feel of, what
Yes,
is that we are trying to derive through this session. Yes,
yes,
in our day-to-day work life, there are, the stresses. So now understanding the stress can be the next module. I have now created this into 12 modules. 12 modules is too big, but however, what I felt is there could be some kind of value add I can make by completely covering those things. But maybe certain places I may be little fast, which I think is very simple. Certain places we'll try to take up in a discussion mode, understand things as required. Okay. So now understanding stress, it looks like the stress, we all have to explore what the stress is all about. There's a triple A approach, what I told you I'm going to cover here in this workshop. That is one simple way, that is alter, avoid or accept. This is a triple A. This approach is what the basis on which I've designed the whole material in this workshop. Okay, so adopting the right attitude can convert a negative stress into positive one. This is told by Heinz. So now this is very important for us to understand. Okay. So now let us try to understand what is stress. There are book definitions are there, which all of you also know. Okay. It's like physical, mental, or emotional strain. It could be situations. Okay. All such things are there in a book, very clearly defined. But now it is now if we have to pin down it is an individual thing actually. For each one of us, stresses are different. Cause for stress are different. For example, uh, somebody public speaking could be a stressful. For somebody, essay, sorry, can be a stressful. So stress can be difficult to pin down because it's a very individual thing. Remember, during this, we are now looking at stress is different for different, and your approach must be personalized too. Typically, we interpret stress as a negative thing, but it does not have to be in that way. Okay, always, as I told you, there are positive as well as negative stresses that are there. What is that positive stress? Now I'll just give us few introduction, and then we'll move on. There's something called eustress. Okay, the eustress means stress from positive effect. It was coined by Richard in 1974 itself, where now take an example of some of the emotional strain that are caused in positive events, like for example winning a race. When you win a race, there is a stress generated. Or there could be being a new parent, father or a mother of a child, there is a stress created. Riding a roller coaster, there is a stress created. Watching a scary movie, there could be a stress created. So stresses But in all of these situations, the stress is not negative. You are feeling proud of it, you are happy about it, but then such stresses are basically the positive stresses, what I mean here. So now to handle this stress, we will try to focus on this AAA approach, okay, where you have a choice which you can make. What is that you are going to choose? So you need to choose what approach you are going to adopt, okay, and then you can choose to alter the situation or your approach towards it. Now, what I was saying, I think Mr. Praveen Biradar, when we was talking about what was he trying to do, he cannot avoid the situation, he cannot no alter the situation, but it use the third A, accept the situation. When you so that then at that point of time, the way you probably you may have to go and discuss with your HODs or next level, and then see what needs to be done. So you can you choose. So normally whenever there's a stress created, you choose to adopt this 3A approach, which is alter, avoid, and accept. Now, third module, if I have to speak about, I can now creating a stress reducing lifestyle. What is that we can do? Okay, let us try to begin or explore what are those things which we can do in our day-to-day lifestyle. It includes, the foundation. The foundation basically has got three building blocks. One is diet, sleep, and exercise. Okay, no real stress reduction programs can be successful without this foundation. Okay, without having this proper diet, sleep, and exercise, it is very, very difficult for us to reduce this stress levels. So, tension, who you think you should be, relaxation is who you actually are. This is what was it's a Chinese proverb which we are talking about. So when we talk about eating properly, what does it mean? So generally, what we do nowadays, the junk food or oil food, fried food, all that what we talk about, are they really good for our health? May not, maybe, or may not be. Definitely, it's not maybe, may not be maybe the right answer. So most of the adults know what they should eat. They just don't eat it. Sticking to healthier diets is a key part of managing stress, and giving your body the proper fuel will really give you the required energy to battle these harmful effects of the stresses actually. So remember, garbage in is garbage out. So it's important that what we take in has an impact on us on our performance. Then next activity could be exercises regularly. This also everyone knows. Knowing is not equal to doing. Okay, exercise makes you stronger and therefore more resilient to the stress. Exercise also helps us to clear your mind, reducing the harmful effects of stress. Exercise can help you work out the negative emotions that can result from stress, such as anger and frustrations. So, if you really look at, it's important for us to work on this as well. The next important aspect is sleeping well. Average person generally needs 7 hours of sleep. Okay, 7 to 8 hours we normally tell, but now he can but receives only 6 hours 40 minutes or whatever. So 28% of the adults stated that sleepiness interfered with their daily activities only when the research are conducted. That's what people tell. 5% reported that it does so almost every day. That's a reality. So next we'll try to look at once you are now altering the situation, what is that we can do here? So now we'll go to the basic building blocks. As I was telling you, 3 A's. In this, A is first A is your altering the situation. How to deal with stress? We'll try to learn on this. Okay. Now what is that you can alter your approach by thinking positively and having a positive attitude. This is, I think, very, very important for us, where we don't think negative. So many a times it's easy, negatives comes fast, and faster, quicker, and stays for longer. But then if we try become aware of this and change, our thought processes, we start thinking positively and having with a positive attitude, a lot of stresses can be reduced. So improving specific skills that will help you to manage the situation. Okay, so here working on ourselves, on our skill levels, and trying to do things differently can bring in the changes in the actually situation. So identifying appropriate situations is again most important aspect and very important step for managing your stresses. However, few instances where altering the situation may not be possible at all, like what we are talking about, some notice coming from the universities setting deadline, you may not have any option there for altering, but then at that point of time we need to only know how do we handle such situation, learn the skills of handling the situation. So altering the situation is not safe. Many a times altering the situation means transferring the stress to someone else. Many a times that's the reason we don't recommend this. Now, when we know that these are the situations, then how do we need to create effective actions. There are also some appropriate and inappropriate actions to consider when altering the situation. Make sure that the benefits will be worth efforts in a long term, and make sure that your actions are helpful and kind to be all involved. Try to see to that we go in the teamwork and get the have a kind of a policy changes that can be made, or some kind of alternative plan of action, so that we can really come handle this situation whenever it occurs effectively. Okay, next module we are if I have to talk about, we can avoiding the situation is next A, where how do we avoid, because the previous module what we talked about is alteration, whereas now if you are looking at how do we avoid, the activity of worrying keeps us immobilized. Okay. The second A, if drinking coffee gives you an indigestion and cause you stress and embarrassment at work, do not drink coffee. That is what we are talking. Avoiding means, you know. Now take an example. One more. Taking shots, because there is a city like Bangalore. There is a lot of traffic jams where people take alternate route, but then if the roads are not good and they are going to reach half an hour late, okay, then again if it is going to create stress, then there is no point in taking alternate path at all. So we can always avoid, we avoid such alternate paths. So avoiding such situations is what one way of avoid reducing the stress. So this avoiding is all about identifying things that you needlessly stress about and how to remove them from your life. This is what we are trying to do in second A. So what is that identifying appropriate situation means? Do not use this approach if avoiding will cause more stress in a long term than short term. It's not short term game. We need to look at long term, because many a times, the activities what we do now leads to a longer problem. Like more stress level, continuous exposure can lead to other health challenges. So it's important for us to see to that we look at long term than the short term. So avoiding will transfer stress to someone else. Avoiding will negatively impact your health or safety. So we need to create an effective actions. It means, the positive no comes in several forms. Say no, followed with by the honest explanation. Say no, then briefly clarify why you are telling no, without giving any excuses. Many a times when we are telling no, it is more of reasons. We tell blaming, or we should avoid all this blame game. Excuses. Then we tell always, a proper explanation, and or any alternative way you have a suggestion that can be given while creating any kind of action. Okay, so empathetically repeat the request in your own words and then say no. Okay, so that there's no ego clashes also happening. It's very important. Many a times that part also we need, and if there is an ego clash, then the stress levels are further going to increase. So provide an assertive refusal and repeat no matter what the person says. That's very important. Be assertive of that. Okay. Third A is accepting the situations. So accepting the situation, Benjamin Franklin once said, in this world, nothing can be said to be certain except the death and taxes. Okay, so our final AI will help us cope up with these things that cannot be changed in reality. So when we change our perception, we gain control. Okay, that's what Greg talked about, and it's important that in the third A, accepting the situation as it is and being as positive as possible about it is what the third A is all about. Some of the examples could be going to a dentist. Okay, you have nothing can be done, even though it's creating stress, you need to accept it. Then taking a turn, presenting a team project instead of passing it off to someone else, visiting a lonely neighbor when tends to be unpleasant. Okay, so identifying appropriate situation here, accepting the situation not appropriate when you are doing so just to please others, or then avoid or altering it with would reduce your stress more than accepting it. You are accepting it because you feel you have no choice. All such things could lead to stress, increase in stress level. So look, be aware of this and handle this effectively. So when we are telling handle this effectively, what do we then? Creating effective actions. With this model, you can choose to accept the situation rather than altering it or avoiding it. So often have a power of choice can reduce stress greatly. Another tactic that can help you to accept a situation is positive thinking, as discussed in the first year. We can always, with positive way also, we can always start accepting things. Now we focused on these 3 A's, and based on which we talked about what could be the systematic approach for handling this stress. Now using routine also we can reduce our stress level. So what are the things we can do while we are carrying out routine activities? Are routines allows us to systemize the unchanging elements in our life so that you can spend your energy on most worthful projects. By planning meals in advance, having a system to course, and using to-do list, you can planning, proper planning, you can run a most efficient household and fewer things to worry about. So when there are multitask things to be done and few things you do it systematically and few things are something which are unplanned, also can reduce the stress level. So you should have a system of working systematically and scheduling the things, whatever the to do things in every day, and then start working on that. Like planning meals, when we take an hour of a weekend to plan meals, create a grocery list, go for shopping. Same thing, you can apply for our work as well. What I'm just giving as an example, as a for planning of meals in a grocery store. Stay around the outer perimeter where fresh fruits, vegetables, meat, and dairies are usually kept. Take advantage of non-processed shortcuts. If you find it hard to keep fresh fruit in the house, try stocking up on frozen fruits. Try experimenting with slow cookers. All such options can be thought of. Organizing chores, what we mean here is younger children can perform tasks like setting the table, making the bed, sorting laundries, feeding pets. Some of the whole tasks which we are doing delegation. What we are trying to tell is we are trying to delegate our tasks to others who can perform things, and then definitely using a to-do list is the best way to see and manage your time. Set up a calendar and see to that you do what you can do, and you can delegate things what others can do, and then start ticking off, telling these are completed, so that it gives you more confidence and reduces the stresses and whatever the things which are incomplete. And even when the incomplete things can be planned for the next day. This could be a very systematic approach that can be adopted to reduce the stress. So it's not the stress that kills us, it's our reaction to it. Okay, so it's important for us to also use certain environmental relaxation techniques like what Mr. Praveen Biradar was talking about, listening to music. So far, we have talked about how to create a stress reducing lifestyle and how to reduce the impact of stressful situations. Despite all these preventive steps, stress will still happen. Okay, it does, it's important to have some tools to keep it cool. Okay, so it's important for us to have some tools, finding a sanctuary so that you go to a place. Now you can use your senses to capture all elements of your sanctuary, where birds, what you see in a sanctuary, then what does it smell like, what it tastes like, how does it make you feel, what texture you associate with this place. So now what sounds would you hear? So now if you are now visualizing the whole thing, something what you love to do, okay, and you are engrossed into it with all five senses, with emotions connected, definitely that is going to keep you cool. And using music, yes, many of them use this as well. So experts believe that rhythm has a powerful effects on our bodies. And if you need to relax, try to listen to some calming music. Music with an upbeat tempo can help you to get back into the groove and up your mood as well. So you can now use this technique or seeing the humor. Humor now or fun is also one of the very common. Reading a funny story or a joke can be a great way to make yourself laugh. Keeping a humorous calendar in your cubicle is a good way to have a laugh at hand, particularly if it is a page a day type. Every page one jokes or one humors are written down there, and you try to read that, relax yourself, and see to that you are always managing your stress. So seeing a humor in a stressful situation can be difficult, but it can also help you put things in its perspective as well. Next is physical relaxation techniques also can be adopted. This is the ninth module, ninth module what I'm focusing on. Physical relaxation techniques, where we are talking on muscle tensions, headaches, high blood pressure, insomnia, depression, obesity, digestive problems, increased sustainability to illness, increased risk of heart attack and stroke. All these are problems, because of stress, right? All of us know that. That's the reason the subject has become very critical for us to really understand and plan an action to see how do we minimize our stress level. So here, worry and stress affects the circulation of the heart, the glands, the whole nervous system, and profoundly affects the heart action as well. Now that it's important for us to soothing the stretches. So having some quick, easy stretches in your stress management toolbox can help you ease some of the physical tensions caused by the stress. Take an example now. I try to press this. I have both the hands. I've created stress. Then I relax. You can see the stress is releasing out. We can see that in the physical tensions, generally we can definitely, by having some stretches, we can reduce our stress level, like neck rolling, shoulder strung, okay, side stretch, lumbar stretch. All this can be small sitting after now 1 hour, 1.5 hours, every 1 hour you can have a stretch for your body, so that there is a soothing stretches, reduces your stress level as well. Next, very simple technique nowadays, profoundly because of yoga, pranayamas, all this people are following up. Even deep breathing is one of the, definitely the benefits, physical benefits will include reduction in blood pressure, reduction in muscle tension, boot in metabolism, clearing of mind, boot in endorphins. All this happens here. So deep breathing again, it's all about counts. The more the inhale, exhale should be longer. That way you can do a simple pranayama where you slowly, without any stress, without any sound, you inhale from one nostril, exhale from other nostril, and again inhale from next same nostril, exhale to the other nostril. You do this for 10 counts, 10 cycles, then definitely you will see to that your stress levels are going to get reduced, and you feel peaceful and relaxing. So tensing and relaxing, try this. Okay, you can bunch your hands up in the fist as tight as possible, and now slowly let your fingers roll out. feel the tensions evaporate from your hands and fingers. You can also try such. You definitely you can see that there is a kind of relaxation what you can observe in your body. Meditation is again a very simple tool, excellent tool what we can use. It's a meditation, ancient art of moving your mind into a deeper state of awareness through relaxation. There are many forms of meditation, including religious and non-religious methods. Most of the meditations involve sitting or lying fully, completely in a comfortable position and tensing and relaxing certain groups of muscles while deep breathing. So now we are not looking at any kind of religious or non-religious, methods. It's all about observing yourself. Okay, you can just do a simple. You can close your eyes, relax, and then see how your breaths is flowing into the body. You can just focus in simple way, and definitely with that regular practices, you can achieve the required benefits of meditation. So coping with major events, sometimes this is again a very important part of life. In our day-to-day life, there could be certain major events where the stress could be increased. So the tools that we have used so far will help you to manage and reduce stress in everyday life. Okay, till now whatever I am discussing is the day-to-day routine life in change in our lifestyle, thought process, so that it reduces the reduces the stress. Whereas now, if you look at as I'm handling the major events, okay, your toolbox will have to grow to here to handle such major events. This module will explore how to prepare for major stressful events and what to do when these events happen. Stress is like an iceberg. We can see only 1/10 of the above or 1/8, but what about the below, the majority, what is there below the water? See, that's very, very important for us. So we need to build a supporting system for this to handle that major events. So maintaining a strong network of family and friends is also equally important. They are stress buzzers basically, and keep in touch with your social support system even in good times. In stressful times, strong bonds with family and friends will provide valuable support and required resources. So we need to create a plan. Okay, creating a plan here means what changes will I need to make in my lifestyle. You may have to decide now. After this session, you can now, I'll be sharing this presentation. Then you can probably sit down, prepare a plan now on what are the changes I need to make in my lifestyle. Then how will my routine help me during this period? So what changes may have to be done even in my routine? How might my routine change? Or how can I use the AAA approach to handle the situation? What relaxation techniques may be appropriate? What support system can I rely upon? All this, whatever I've covered till now, if you look at what is that you need to act upon is this. This slide, this question, there are 6 questions. If we can answer and decide upon a plan of action, that will help you to really move forward and see to that you have a better tomorrow. Knowing knowing when to seek help is also equally important. So have an objective third party to talk to and get feedback from, and can be an important part of your support system. If you are wondering where to find help, and start at your workplace or look in phone book for mental health services or hotlines in your area. Several small stress causing events that happen in close proximity can cause an exponential amount of real stresses actually. So our challenge to you is, we have discussed many tools in this workshop, and we hope that our ideas have sparked some thoughts on how you can manage and reduce stress. However, it is hard to know how to solve a problem if you do not know what the problem is really is. So this module will explore you how to use a stress log system to identify, reduce, and manage stressors. See, many a times what we have seen is we always tell there's one more problem. If you well-defined problem is half solved. Okay, so many a times we don't know what the problem is all about. Then where is the question of solving it? For that, I'll introduce you one more system through which we will start identifying what are the problems we are generally having. So in times of great stress or adversity, it's always best to keep busy, to plow your anger and your energy into something positive. That's what Lee talked about in terms for stress. Now, this is one best tool I can tell you. Creating a stress log. Okay. Now, every day, my suggestion to you is you have a log made, okay, in your diary, or you can create an Excel sheet, whatever the way you would like to maintain this log. You answer this question whenever you find that there is a stress that there is a stress increase. Write down what happened, when did it happen, where did it happen, how was my stress level on scale 1 to 10, how did I feel, why did this event cause me stress, what did I do about it, what would I like to do differently next time. If you can answer these questions, uh, very honestly, whatever comes to your mind, with honesty, if you can create this log, this will give you a complete insight on what is happening in and around you, and also come out with a proper plan of action so that you can definitely reduce the stress level. Now, if you look at now week 1 recording events, 1 week, first week, week 1, you record all the events. First stage of using the stress log is to gather the information completely. For 7 days, fill out your stress log each time you feel stressed or anxious. We also recommend writing a journal entry each night, summarizing the day and your stress related feelings. Week 2, identify stressors and creating a plan. Use this 3 method, 3A method, that is alter, avoid, accept, which might be appropriate in dealing this situation. What could the lifestyle changes that you would like to do in terms of diet, sleep, exercise routine, and organization help reduce this stress? What relaxation techniques could help me cope up with the stress? What resources can help me reduce this stressor? What will make my final plan look like? Now create a plan. Then week 3, create a new habits. Actually, it's easy to tell breaking create the new habits. I am also aware of that. But if we understand why we have to do, what is the impact of that, and definitely the probability of doing is much higher. So take 1 or 2 small parts of your stress management plan at a time and incorporate them into your life. Because if you have too many things to do, then you will have a challenge. Take 1 or 2 which you think is doable, take action, incorporate them in your routine day-to-day life. So try each part of for a week or 2. Okay, if it works, make it part of your lifestyle or stress management approach. If it does not work, make a note of your efforts and move on. After this, so what you have done here now is we have first is we recorded the events, then we created a plan, then we talked about now creating new habits. Now review and evaluation. Okay, what was my stress level in the last time when I reviewed my plan? What is my stress level now? What has changed? What stressors have been added to my life? What stressors have been removed from my life? How should my plan change? And what stress management technique have been working for me? And what techniques have not been working for me? How should I make my plan change? If you can answer these questions, what is my plan for the next week? When will I review my plan again? So overall, if you are through this, you are identifying clearly what are the techniques which suits to you, and which solves your problem, because it is very, very individualistic approach what we need to adopt. And this process what I've given you is fundamentally to for you to identify that and then sort out those issues. So last portion is wrapping up this whole session. Please, so although this workshop is coming to be close, we hope that your journey to improve your stress management skills is just a beginning. Please make a moment to review and update your action plan. This will be a key tool to guide your progress in days, weeks, months, and years to come. We wish you the best of luck on the rest of your journey. Sometimes when people are under stress, they hate to think, and it's time when they most need to think. Actually, Bill Clinton said this. So it's important now for us to understand it's never too late. And the day what you start is a good time. If you start now that this is a good time. Okay. And then since it's very, very specific to individuals, there cannot be common solutions that we can arrive. That's the reason I've given you a very generic overview, very clearly identifying what are the possible things, what we can do, so that you choose what works for you, what does not work for you, and adopt the techniques which you feel is, it connects to your value systems, connects to your schedules, connects to your thought processes, what you have, and I'm sure you will all can do wonders. Just to conclude, some words from the wise. Benjamin Franklin talked about: do not anticipate trouble or worry about what may never happen. Always that leads to again stress. If your teeth is clenched and your fists are clenched, your lifespan probably is also clenched. There cannot be stressful crisis next week. My schedule is already full, so that way I'm sure the whole webinar, even though my objective was to see to that I don't take any shortcuts and complete this on time. I hope I have completed almost on time. So now we'll open for question and answers. You can, based on whatever we have discussed or whatever you have with what we have not discussed, you can we can discuss on that. Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving us information on how to control our stress and our stress management. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now,
Thank you.
I ask participants, if you have any question, you can ask the sir, or you can unmute yourself and you can talk.
Yes, please. Any specific questions you can ask me?
I think faculties are participants are stressed now.
Stress.
I have a question. Oh, sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Hello. I'm Praveen Shirode from Maharashtra, Jalgaon,
Yes.
Maharashtra. So you told that in your presentation that is a strong bond with the family or friends will reduce the stress. But I found that if I am having we are having friends, and so we are going to attach emotionally with them. So sometimes their stress will be transferred to us, and our stress will be transferred to them. So is it a truth that it will increase the number of friends or family members, and our stress will be reduced or increase? That is my question.
Yes, excellent, Praveen Shirule. So yes, see, many a times, as I told you, that it's all about energies, right? If I am in a negative energy, what I do, I make you also negative. If I'm in positive, I make you positive. No, but
Agreed.
yeah, and so that's where I also talked about each of these very, very individualistic in nature. Okay, I didn't give you a common solution only for that reason. I didn't tell you now you do 1, 2, 3, 4. I have given you what are the methods of stress relieving. Now I'll take the example of what you have quoted. Take an example now during this COVID time. Many of us, were in a very high stressful situation. Even now, till now, the families are in high stressful situation because of some of the the disruptions that have happened. Either the disruptions have happened by loss of life, or disruptions have happened because of the financial losses. Okay. Now, at that point of time, the bonding between the family members and support system with friends, or the peers, the colleagues, whatever the support system we have got, if they're there with the confidence level with the on the person who is undergoing this trauma, definitely will be much higher. Assume now a situation at where you are in complete disruption mode, and there nobody is with you. Your family members are not with you, your friends are not with you, your colleagues are not with you, nobody is supporting you, and they left you alone. What will happen to you as an individual?
Sir, you talk about the pandemic, so I want to say something about this pandemic also, sir. I lost
Yes.
my parents, mother and
Yeah.
father, both at the same time in pandemic. I
I'm very
was
sorry.
also one of them. Okay. No,
Yeah.
but the things that I heard, according, whatever you have answered, accordingly, I have to tell you that my mother is admitted in the hospital, father, mother, both with me. But I found that people are not able, other my relatives are not able to visit to the hospital, are not able to touch their hands or feet like this, emotionally touch. So I think they find the more stress as compared to the others. If suppose somebody is not believable on these others or dependent upon others, of course financially we don't have any problem. We don't have any another problem from the hospital point of view. Whatever the fees we need to pay, we are capable to do it. But till is not able, they are not able to get the hands in hands of the other relatives or even their son, daughter-in-law, daughter like this. So I feel that they feel the more stress that I observe that during that situation. Okay. Anyway, sir, thank you
This
very
is situation based. See, what had happened was the trauma that was created there was, even we should never go meet. Otherwise, we will also be in trouble. So there was no touch, and there was not allowed. Social distancing was what expected to. That led to much more stress. That's what I am trying to tell. This is situation based stress that has got created. For this, the way how we have to handle, we need to look at what approach. So we have to adopt. For every situation, the solution could be different. We cannot adopt one technique for one situation. That way, we need to choose. That's the reason I also told you, even you decide whatever you have decided, it may not work. Then look at, and that's the reason make a plan. Then review the plan, take actions, review the plan, again make changes. Decide upon the new plan of action, which may work.
Yes.
Then your overall, you are going to become a normalized. Over a period of time, you will be almost relaxed, calm, and you can do your whatever you are doing with to the fullest potential.
Okay, sir. One more question. I am having the philosophy point of view. Whether there are the two different faculties that are working in our body or in human, that is a mind. One is the mind and another one is the brain. So whether how they are working together or what are the effects of their on our body. The stress is also one of the coming from body, mental stress and like this. So is there is any guidelines, or we can say, is there is any, you can
This
add our
meditation
knowledge
is
from that point of view?
Yeah,
Yes.
meditation, what we discussed as one of the tool, and your music, which is another tool. These are all to align these things only. Primarily, meditation is to align our body and soul and our brain. Then a subconscious mind. Again, see, many times what will happen, subconscious, if you are both are not aligned, the subconscious mind will tell, I want you to do this, but then the conscious mind will tell, don't do this, based on past experiences. There's a conflict created that can lead to a stress. Whereas now, once you start following the various what we talk about, the mind, body, and soul, aligning these things with a lot of gratitude, forgiveness, or with meditation, we can align these aspects and then see to that we still live in peaceful and with happiness.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Sorry
Thank you.
for whatever I was. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Nothing to be sorry about. This forum is open. We'll have an open, transparent discussion. Nothing to feel sorry about. Thank you for bringing this
Okay.
important point. like you, many of them would have been undergone such traumas. They would have not communicated over here. Only the thing that you communicated. Hands off to you for bringing this very important point during this program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, there are another few questions from the participants. Like one from Anita Sinha. Ma'am has asked that how to avoid people who give stress.
Yeah, negative. Yeah, I am not able to go back to my hometown.
How to avoid people who give stress? How to avoid the negative peoples, ma'am? The question is from ma'am.
Okay, so now once you know that it is negative, then we know it's the matter is end there, right? Problem is the awareness. We don't know the problem, then the problem gets created there. But when we know that there's a problem, it is half solved. It means just try to ignore them or just disconnect from them. Or the other method is give from your end. You should be clear. You you need to go into forgiveness mode. However they are, you cannot change them. What we need to do is we need to take them out of our mind. We need not carry that luggage within in our mind of what they are, how the negative they are. If we are carrying that, and whenever we see them, if that gets reflected in our mind, the stress gets generated. Whereas if you have let go on them from your mind, okay, then there's no reaction from your body at that point of time, and the stress will not get generated over there. So it's all about, once you are being aware, you need to start forgive them, whatever they are. That's not under your control. You can just go into the forgiveness mode for them. Bless them. Don't think negative about them. Don't go into negative mode. You don't go into negative mode. You be positive. That will definitely reduce the stress level. Okay, that's what would be my suggestion. You did not react to them. When you react, you also tend to increase your stress level to it. Okay, just leave them the way they are. You start accepting them and then releasing them, and then you don't too much indulge, knowing that they are like that. Don't get involved too much with them. That's a simple way. Even if you by any chance you cannot avoid, so there are some people, like in our own houses also, we may have people whom we feel we are negative. At that point of time, it's just being that forgiveness mode, accepting them, and then not involving too much with them. That can also reduce definitely the stress levels.
Sir, there is one more question.
Yes,
from Dr. Vatsala. Sir, how to know that whether I am under stress or under depression?
Okay. Now, depression is basically something which needs to be treated, right? Then it is when the depression, when the stress is on too much in deep within your body, mind, and soul, that over a period of time will lead to a depression. So there, then it's a need for a doctor we need to go to, and then take right appropriate solutions from them. Whereas when the stress is what happens on a day-to-day affair, which is short term, and then because of some situations, certain activity, okay, that the stresses are created. Then now for handling that, so we need to immediately go for that. There's a change in mood, so shift yourself from negative to positive. Okay, by that can be done even by training your mind as well. You can set a pattern. See, all of us work on a certain patterns. We can change our pattern and train our mind to shift ourselves from negative to positive. That's a just general way of immediately shifting, and that will not go into the depression itself. Being too negative for a long period of time will lead to a depression. Start accepting things. That's the best way to reduce your stress. Otherwise, when you avoid there's a conflict happening within you, the stress levels are going to increase. Very good question. Thank you so much, doctor. This is a very, very common problem what we are seeing, especially during the pandemic we had seen, and that now it's again people are talking about some many things that are going to happen in coming days. So it's important for us to really handle and deploy these tools and techniques effectively, so that we'll all, it doesn't affect any one of us, at least after undergoing this session. Yeah. Yes, please. Any other questions?
I think you already answered the remaining questions also, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing the knowledge on how to control the stress and how to come out of it and all those things. Because in this present life, we are under a lot of stress in either in a personal life or in a this work life. So it's very much necessary for us to control our stress, else we'll not be able to perform good and all those things. Anyway, sir, thank you so much for sharing with us. And now I would like to ask our Asif Momin sir to present a certificate.
Sir, thank you very much for accepting our invitation and being a resource person for this. I think you had a very good questions from all the participants here. Rather, in the previous resource person, we had no questions. We ourselves had the questions to frame, but you had a good questions. So I am very much happy to include the topic stress management in our what you call FDP. Actually, this is out of scope. It is never. It doesn't suit to the the theme of our FDP. But as per the AICTE, it was mandatory to include such a one session on human values and stress management. So it is good initiative by the AICTE to include such an topics into the FDPs. After the completion, I could realize that how important is the stress management, and most of the colleges are been facing with over stresses in their organizations, and they have, I think they had a good opportunity to learn about how to reduce the stress level. Thank you very, very much, sir, for accepting our invitation. This is small e-certificate from appreciation from our college side. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure to be here, share my knowledge and experiences with all of you. And definitely, I love to do this. And any point of time, I'm there. You can always